Now that we've helped people customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Welcome to Cleveland Stadium 1980. It's a game between the 1980 Billy Ball A's visiting the Cleveland Indians at Cleveland Stadium. We're playing Fall Classic Baseball. This is Tony Porter, and you are tuning in to Cards and Dice Baseball TV. Now, this is the second round. The second time we play these 32 games, and we're going to take a look at the stats and compare the stats from the first 32 games and the second 32 games. Now, I'm playing the same 32 games with replay baseball, the classic replay baseball from 1980. And that's a blast using those cards, because those are actual 1980 cards with the font that looks like they were printed with a typewriter. Let me go over the lineups and we'll get the game started. This is the late show. The late show goes from 11:30 till about 1. The late show goes from about 1 to, I'd say, 2:30. And from 2:30 to 4 a.m. you get the late show. And if you remember back in the 70s, I think late 60s as well, and mid 70s, late 70s, you had the CBS had a late show, and they had the 3 shows. The late show would start at 11:30, so it was a movie that they would show, and then and normally you wouldn't get a late show unless it was a Friday or Saturday night, where they would stay on the longest out of all the 3 networks. They would get they would stay on the longest. So this is a little bit of a play on that, playing late night ball, and I'm well rested. Need to work tomorrow, but I still am fine to do so. So it's going to be Ricky Henderson in left field, Dwayne Murphy in center field, Wayne Gross at third base, Dave Revering, the first baseman, batting cleanup. Batting fifth is Mitchell Page, the DH, Tony Armas in right field, Jeff Newman, the catcher, Mario Guerrero, the shortstop, and Rob Piccolo is playing second base. For the Indians, is going to be Miguel Delaunay in right field, Rick Manning in center field batting second. Batting third is Mike Hargrove, the first baseman, Cliff Johnson, the ex-Yankee, he's been around. At DH, Ron Hassey, the catcher, the future Yankee, batting fifth. Batting sixth, the future Yankee Toby Harrah at third base, Joe Charbonneau in left field, batting seventh. Batting eighth is Dave Rosello, the second baseman, and Jerry Dubinsky, the shortstop. And good morning, Captain Carl. How are you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. A lot has been going on. If you keep an eye on the Universal Baseball Association, lots is going on. I have a couple of different replays going, which are a lot of fun. And I'm having to learn the 1980 replay rules, because those are very different from the modern replay rules. It was very straightforward, and that's what I like. I like the simplicity of it. There's not those extra layers that you got to go through to play the game. It was just like, simple life, simple world, and I enjoy that sometimes, just going back in time and doing that. And Fall Classic Baseball has a nice connection, has been able to kind of achieve a nice blend of realism and playability. So we're about to get started, and here goes. You read the red and then the white, and then of course we're gonna have that 20-sided die. And I like to make the 20-sided die a different color from the colors that I have that I'm throwing. And I do have a bunch of different 20-sided dice that I can use. I may have to get up and grab them. I'm hoping I don't. I'm hoping I can find a black one here. We got a lot of dice floating around, as you can see. A little. Here's one. That's exactly what I need. Perfect. All right, let's get started. We're not using a scorecard in this one. We're just going directly to iScore. I downloaded the rosters from Retro Sheet. It allows you to do that. And here goes. Here's the first pitch. It's Dan Spillner pitching to Steve McCatty. Dan Spillner pitching to Ricky Henderson. It's Spillner versus Steve McCatty. Two righties. And here's Ricky Henderson. That's going to be a 34, and that's a blank. We didn't roll for the pitcher, but we'll do that there. We'll use that number 2, and what we're going to do is we're going to write it on something so we can have access to it. And this is game 1. Game 2, you're going to have McCatty. And he's going to Spillner, and then, of course, you got McCatty, and then Spillner. So McCatty's an A. I always roll for the, and Spillner's going to be, I always roll the A's first just to keep it consistent. And we're going to move on. So let's roll this again. It was actually a 34, so we'll use that 34, and he is a B, and that is going to be a ground ball and through for a base hit. So we have Henderson on at first with a base knock, gets it through the infield, off Spillner, and here comes Dwayne Murphy. Pitch to Murphy. That is a, can't even see it. Let's see if we get an angle here. 53. That's going to be a range check. A range check, but that also gives us a KD look at, and that's a 1. So that is going to be within the 8 KD, and that's a strikeout for Spillner. So Murphy swings and misses at strike 3, and that is 1 down here in the top of the first inning. So let's check the time on this. We're starting at 9, and we'll write that down somewhere just to keep track. Basically, we start about 8. So that's going to be a 66. And Wayne Gross, he has good power, particularly against righties, because he's hit all his home runs against righties, and he drives one to deep right center field, and Dillonay and Manning converge on the track, and it hits off the wall, and that's going to be a double with a runner on first. Ricky Henderson is speedy, so we're going to pull a card and see if he can score from first base. First to home plate, and let me get this into the picture here. Let me back this up, slide this down. There you go. And now we got it in the picture. So it's going to say first, it's going to be hold unless there's 2 outs, and then there's going to be an assist. There's only 1 out. So Ricky Henderson, they're going to give him the stop sign at third, and it's going to be second and third. And Wayne Gross hits it a ton, the lefty third baseman for the A's, and gets a double out of it. So it's second and third now with Dave Revering coming to the plate. He's a lefty hitter, batted 290 actually, with 15 home runs. Ended up going to the Yankees in 1981. Here is the pitch. Now let's do the rolling instead of the card pulling. That's a 53. That's another range check, and this time we're going to use the 13. Well, I'm supposed to actually roll again. So that's a 53. And that's going to be a KD defense. So we're going to see what that is. It's going to be a third baseman, a ball hit to the third baseman. And there's something I've just seen for the first time. TE, I don't even know what that is. Let's see what happens here. All right, it's a 16, and that is going to be a base hit. And that TE, I don't know what that means, so I'm going to try to see if I can figure it out. Otherwise, we're just going to ignore it and move ahead with the game, and I'll investigate. What does that TE mean? Let's see on the. Let's look on the chart. Sometimes the chart gives you a little bit more information on what should happen. So with a TE, so if single, oh, error on the throw. Okay, that's what TE means. Error on the potential throwing error. All right, so let's check. Let's roll. Who was it to? Potential throwing error. It's the left field because it's past the third baseman, unless they want the third baseman to play it on like an infield single. And we can do that. That's not a problem. It's actually okay. So it's a. Yeah, we're going to play it as a throwing error on the third baseman. So we're going to roll on the third baseman. Who is that? That is going to be. That's going to be Toby Hara, and Toby Hara's number at third base is a 4. So it's doubtful that he rolls an error, but you never know. And it's a 5, so he actually makes the play. And this is going to be a single, revering single, right? And by Toby Hara. Gets his mitt on it, slows it down, goes to the outfield and get it. And let's see if the runner on second base can score on this. We're going to look at second to home. He scores if the fielder has a W or an A arm. And Hara is an A arm, so he will score. So 2-run score on this. Basically single that's hit to Hara. He gets a glove on it. It goes past him into left field. Charging in is Henderson, but Hara, not Henderson, the left fielder who's out there. That's Charbonneau. And it's Hara who picks it up. But 2-run score on this. And the A's, just like that, are up 2-0 here in the first inning against Dan Spillner. So Revering picks up 2 RBIs. And it's going to be Mitchell Page. Mitchell Page is a lefty hitter against Dan Spillner. Oh, there, Captain Carl, I received my heavy box. Yeah, it is pretty heavy. It is pretty heavy. I was about to play my first practice game with full classic baseball, 1969 Red Sox versus Yankees. That sounds like a blast, my friend. So good, yes, absolutely. Play those practice games, and this is a pretty straightforward game. You just have to get used to a few of the unique aspects of it. This is going to be a 52, and a 52 again takes us to the error range. So that roll is going to be for the KD. It's not going to be a KD. So we're going to have to re-roll to see if it's an error. 52 is going to be a ground ball to the second baseman, Dave Rosello. Rosello is an error rating of, at second base is an error rating of 5. And remember to print these out, Carl. Okay? Print out the defensive chart. That'll give you all the ratings. You don't have to worry about anything. Just quickly look at that way. And plus it gives you information, ERAs. It gives you a lot of other information. WHIP. Gives you home runs per 9 innings. It gives you lots of stats that you can use as a manager to manage your team. All right. So we're rolling for the error, and no, Rosello gets to it. Now that 11 is going to turn this into a 4-6-3 double play. And that's going to retire the side. 4-6-3 double play. When it's on this type of error play, when there's a runner on first, an odd number gives you a double play, and an even number gives you a fieldless choice. So there's a big variety of outcomes. That's one thing, but in a very, very simple way. So you don't have to really, look at a lot of charts and figure out a lot of information and to calculate a lot of things. There's really very little calculating in this game. That's why it's so appealing to me. It's very relaxing to play. I don't have to stress. I don't have to count. I have to look. You do have to look at ratings. Ratings do play a part. That's the nice thing about this game. Ratings play a part, but without all the work that is involved, generally speaking. I don't have to add and subtract and add and subtract. So it's Miguel Delaunay here in the bottom of the first. It's 2-0 A's. The A's picked up 2 runs on 3 hits. The big hit being that hard ball, that hard grounder that was hit to the third baseman Hara that he let get by him. He got a glove on it, slowed it down, and that allowed 2 runs to score. And we are ready to roll here for a pitch from Steve McCatty to Miguel Delaunay. Delaunay batted .341. That's right. You heard me right. .341 in 1980. And that is going to be a 65. A 65 is going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. Guerrero waits back, now charges. He better let it go. A strong throw just gets Miguel Delaunay, who can fly down the line. 6-3, 1 out. Keep on doing that. Sometimes I use the cards for the numbers. I feel that it's more random. It's a 41. It's Rick Manning. He's a lefty hitter. A 41, even on an A, is going to be a base on balls. That number is almost always a base on balls. Very unusual that you don't get a base on balls on that. So Manning is on at first, and here's the human rain delay. And that's a 54. That's going to be a 54 chart, usually just like a wild pitch or pass ball, and that's what it is. It says refer to the pitcher's wild pitch rating, Steve McCatty. It's 1 to 11. If a 5 falls within the range, it is a runner advance unless that 5 is within Newman's pass ball range, then it would be a pass ball. And where is... Let me see here. I can't find the Oakland A's now. Their stat sheet there. This is Baltimore Orioles, Boston, Yankees, Royals. I have everybody but except the A's. Let me see. Cleveland, Baltimore, Boston, Yankees. I don't know what I do with it. Don't know what I did with it, so what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to go. Yep, I don't know what I do with it. All right, so let us just look at Newman's card. It's the simplest way to solve that. Newman has a pass ball rating of 1 to 2, so it's not a pass ball. It's going to be a wild pitch. And to second base goes Manning. And Hargrove is still up. Here's a pitch. And that is a 51. Another error check. Holy smokes. And that is going to be the KD look. And the KD on McCatty is 1 to 3. We're going to see who the error may be on. The ball is hit, grounded out to the shortstop. And the shortstop is Guerrero. Guerrero's error rating, again, we're going to have to look at him because I can't find the... Guerrero's error rating at shortstop is a 6. So we're going to roll. Anything less than a 6, it's going to be an error. And it's not an error, and it's a 12. So that's going to be runner on second base on this. Let's see what that happens there. Runner on second base, grounded to short. Runner on first, runner on second, hit to shortstop, runner holds. So that's Guerrero. He bobbles for a second, quickly looks Manning back to second, fires to first, and that is 2 away. And it's Cliff Johnson. Cliff Johnson, big power hitter, DH type, doesn't really play very much defense. So McCatty checks the sign, and here is the pitch. That is a 41. Again, that's going to be a base on balls. That's like automatic unless it's an out on Johnson, and it isn't. So that is a base on balls to Johnson. That's 2 walks here in the inning by McCatty. McCatty did have a tendency to walk batters. Doesn't say his walks there. And I can't find their other chart, their defensive chart for some reason. Don't know what I did with it. Oh, wait, is that it? Ah, found it. Okay. So walks, let's take a look at the defensive chart. Let me tell you the walks. Walk per 9 innings for McCatty, pretty high. It's at a 4. So he does walk a lot of batters, 4 in 9 innings. All right, Ron Hassey, lefty hitter. Ron Hassey batted .318. He's another guy that gives the A's headaches. So here goes, pitch to Ron Hassey. And that is going to be a 56, which is a blank. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3, and that retires the side. So the Indians leave 2, and we go to the top of the second. See if we can get the next inning to go a little bit faster. Here is Tony Armas leading it off against Dan Spillner. And that is a 64, which is going to be a Spillner out, which is a fly ball center field, and Manning settles under it, makes the catch. Jeff Newman with a 15, and that's going to be a fly ball again, center field, and Manning hauls it in for out number 2. 2 fly outs to center. And this is a 31. 31 has usually is a hit, and it's going to be a ground ball and through the left side for a 2-out single for Mario Guerrero. Next is Rob Piccolo. And Piccolo at 36, that is a blank plus sign. That means if he gets on, he will try to steal. A 36 takes us to Spillner, and that's going to be an out. And what was that? An out. That's going to be a fly ball right field. Miguel Delaunay towards the line and hauls it in for out number 3. So that was pretty quick inning. You want one of those quick innings in there every so often. You don't want to race the game, but you do definitely want to have a quicker inning. I expect this game to be no longer than an hour. Toby Harrah leading off the bottom of the second. 2-0 A's. That's a 33, and that's going to be lined. Should be a base hit, and it is. Base hit center field, played on a hop by Dwayne Murphy. The outfield for the A's is Henderson in left, Murphy in center, and Armas in right. So Harrah is on, and that 33 is not going to give us a stolen base. The walk would have. 19 or 20 would have been a walk, and it would give us a stolen base. The 18 does not. All right. So Toby Harrah is on with a single. And here's Joe Charbonneau. And that is a 36. 36 is a blank on McCatty. It's going to be a fly ball to left field. 1 out. He's a fly ball pitcher. So you get ground ball pitchers, you get fly ball pitchers. Ground ball pitchers are going to have more chances for double plays, obviously. Here's a Zella. And that is a 53 and an 11. We're going to have to roll for a range check. That's going to be a range number. So it's a ball that's hit to the left fielder. Will Henderson get there? At 20, he does not. It drops in front of Henderson for a single. See if where Toby Harrah goes. Toby Harrah is going to make it to third base. He read it well off the bat. Somehow knew Henderson wasn't going to get there and makes it to third base. Had Henderson caught that, he would have been a dead duck at first base. So Rosello singles here with one out. Runners on first and third, and it's Jerry Dubinsky. We're going to go for the double play. We're going to play the infield halfway here. Willing to concede a run. If we don't get it, and it's a fielder's choice, but at least we'll still have the lead. So it's going to be Jerry Dubinsky, right-handed hitter, against Steve McCatty. Here's a pitch. And this is going to be a 51. Another error check, but in this case, actually got to check the KD first, and that's going to be a strikeout. Big strikeout by McCatty. And here's Miguel Delaunay. Runners on first and third. And Delaunay's trouble, I'm telling you, because he batted .341. He's got a lot of hit numbers. Probably not a great on-base percentage. Let's take a look at Delaunay's on-base percentage. I should have it in here on this chart, right? Delaunay, let's, where is it? Pitchers, usage stats. It does not. It gives you pitcher information. It doesn't give you the batter info, that sort of batter information. I don't have his on-base percentage on here. He had 28 walks, so he didn't walk a lot. Has a lot of hits, but not a lot of walks. So he doesn't have. All right, so let's see what happens. Let's pitch to Delaunay. Pitch to McCatty, and that is going to be a 46, which is ballpark. We are at Cleveland, and that's going to be an 8 in the ballpark. It is no ballpark home run because Delaunay hit no home runs, so he can't hit one. It's going to be an 8, and he is a switch hitter batting lefty, and an 8 is going to be popped up, and that's going to be in foul territory for Toby Hara. For Wayne Gross, and Wayne Gross makes the catch to retire the side. So McCatty gets out of trouble, and we go to the top of the third. 2-0 A's. Ricky Henderson leading off. Pitch from Spillner, that's a 25. And that is going to be a fly ball against center field. So there's a lot of action for Manning here. One down. Dwayne Murphy's next. He bats lefty, batted .274. 25. And that's going to be a ground ball, second base. Rosello throws him out, 2 down. And Wayne Gross doubled in the first inning. And here it's a 24, and that is going to be a hit by pitch. I'm going to call that a 4, and it's no hit by pitch, so it's going to be an out. And it's a ground ball with a 4. It's to the second baseman, Rosello. And that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for Spillner. We go to the bottom of the third. Let's see if McCatty can have an easy inning. 2-0 A's in the bottom of the third. Rick Manning leading it off. Rick Manning walked 21. That will be a fly ball right field. On the run is Armas, and he tracks it down. 1 down. If you have any questions at all, Carl, just let me know. It's not a bother at all. 55, Mike Hargrove, and that is line base hit. Strokes one to right field. Frozen rope off the bat of Hargrove, and he's on with a single. Again, not a threat to steal. Cliff Johnson steps to the plate. Big righty hitter, hit 6 home runs and 174 bats. Here's a pitch for McCatty. Better watch out. That's a 55, and that's a line drive base hit to left this time. And stopping at second is Mike Hargrove. Back-to-back singles by the third and fourth place hitters here for the Indians. Ron Hassey now. Pitch to Hassey. That's a 35. 35 is a blank. We go to McCatty. That's an out. Let's see if we got a ground ball double play. Well, it is a ground ball, and it may be a double play. Shortstop with a weak arm, and I think Guerrero may have a weak arm. I hope not. He may have a weak arm, and he does. So he's going to get only a fielder's choice. That's tough. That's a tough one. It's a 6-4 That's all they get is 1. And that puts runners, it's going to put runners on first and third. Again, McCatty, 3rd inning in a row, is struggling. And here's Toby Harrow, 2 outs. Here's a pitch to Hara. That is going to be a deep drive off the bat of Hara. And that is going to be 1 hop off the wall in left center field. Ricky Henderson plays it off the wall. Let's see if Hasse can score. He's an A. And we're going to pull a card and see. 1 to home scores if outfielder has a W or an A arm. And what do we say? That was going to be base hit to center field. Oh, Murphy. I said Henderson played it, but it was Murphy who played it, and he has an A arm. So Hasse will score on. He wouldn't have scored on Henderson, but he will score on Murphy. So you can see how, the arm ratings for the outfielders come into play in a very simple way. And that was runner on score. The runner on first scores if the outfielder who caught the ball, the center fielder, has an A arm, which Murphy does. So that is a tie game here with the 2-run, 2-out double off the bat of Toby Hara. And here's Joe Charbonneau. There's a pitch, and that is a 12. That is going to be a 1 to 10 base on balls, and is ball 4. So here we go with McCatty struggling the first 3 innings and getting hammered a bit here in the 3rd inning, having issues with control. And here's Dave Rosello. Rosello, not a great hitter, about a 248. He can hold his own, but just not a guy who's going to intimidate us. And that's going to be a 61. This should get us out of the inning. It's a blank, and that's going to be a swing and a miss. And that retires the side. But the Indians pick up a couple of runs. They tie it. We go to the top of the 4th. Carl says, I think that I'm going to use a score sheet from Pop. I use that all the time there, Carl. I like the Pop score sheet. I like the replay score sheet. I like the inside pitch score sheet. I like all those. But lately I've been using the what do you call it? The Sim Research score sheet that comes out with actual lineups printed out. I like the font on that. It's, I think, Ron Bernier has to do with that, and he's the one who runs it and does a lot of stuff there. And I like the font. I like the font better than Digi Dugout. And Digi Dugout is a really small font as well. Not only the font, there's a really tiny font, and it's a struggle to see. So Dave Revering here in the top of the 4th inning. It's a tie game at 2 apiece. So we got a good game going here. It's good to have a good game, close game. See what happens. Top of the 4th. See if the A's can come back. That's a 52. That's going to be Nerechek. It's going to be Revering. Grounds it out to the second baseman. See if he makes an error. Rosello at 2. That's going to be an error on Rosello and a 1-base error. I don't even have to look, but I think he's a 4 or 5. That's an E4. And so Revering, is on. Yeah, and Rosello, I'll tell you what he is at second base. He is a 5. So that is, we rolled a 2. And it's Mitchell Page with Revering on at first base. Here's the pitch. And that is a 53. Holy smokes. This is going to be a range check. And that KD, that's a KD look, and we're not using that because it doesn't work. It's 1 to 2 KD. So we're going to have to roll for the range, and that's a 13. Let's see who it's hit to. It is hit to the center fielder. Center fielder is Manning, and Manning with a 7 range. So that's going to drop in for a single. Runner's going to take an extra base. So Revering goes over to third. First and third now. And here's Tony Armas. All right, so it's Spillner with first and third, nobody out. They're going to play the infield halfway to avoid. We can get we're giving up a run if we get the double play here. We don't want to prevent a big inning. And that is a 1/4. It's a 14, which is an out. This could be a double play ball that'll allow a run to score. Let's see if we get it. 6-4-3, unless the shortstop is a W. Dubinsky. What is Dubinsky? He is an average arm. So it's a 6-4-3 double play. They turn it, a run scores, but the Indians prevent. They prevent a. Hopefully, they prevent a big inning. Let's do that. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. Runner scores there, and the other runner is out at second on a double play. All right. So Armas grounds into a double play, doesn't get an RBI. Armas grounds out and throws shortstop, Dubinsky, second baseman, first baseman. So he shouldn't have a. Let me double check his stats, make sure that iScore did not give him a an RBI on that. And he did get an RBI on that, so I got to go back. Let me go back and fix that. And what I'm going to do is ground out, 6-4-3. This is the trick here. So he scores, but I'm going to put in on the throw. Let me see if on the throw will do it. Runner there is out. So let me go back and see if we corrected that. We didn't say advanced by the batter, but we wrote in on the throw he scored. So let's see. This time he does not get the RBI. Okay, so that way I fixed it that way. All right, good. So it's a run scores on the double play, and here is Jeff Newman. All right, let's roll. Yeah, I think it has a few columns for players' ratings. Yep. But again, if you print this out, you don't have to print out any player ratings. But of course, you do it how you want. But I'm just saying, if you print this out, you'll have all the player ratings all written down for you. So you won't have to, except the speed. You won't have the speed. This is going to be a 23 off Newman's card. A 23 is going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. And curveball gets Newman to retire the side. The A's pick up a run on the double play. And it's going to be Jerry Dubinsky leading it off. Let's see what happens here. McCatty. Let's see if McCatty can settle down a little bit. He's really struggled. That's a 24. That's it's a potential hit by pitch, but the 6 is too high. So that's going to become a pop-up it's a 4. That's a pop-up to the second baseman by the bag, and he squeezes it for the out. 1 down. All right. The lineup turns over again. It's going to be Delaunay, who's 0 for 2. He is a tough guy. That's going to be a 21, and that is going to be he's a switch hitter batting lefty. Pops it up. And with a 1, that's going to be foul territory. First baseman Dave Revering, he's there, makes the catch. 2 down. And now it's Rick Manning, who's 0 for 1, a walk and a flyout. As a 26 against a righty is a ground ball and through the right side. A 2-out base knock for Manning. So he's been on base twice today. He's on at first, and here comes the lefty hitting Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay. Bottom of the 4th, it is 3-2 A's. And that is going to be a 52. That's going to be an error check. And KD is on the first one. The error will be on the second one. It's going to be an error check on the left fielder. We don't want to roll anything less than a 6 because otherwise Henderson makes an error. He runs it down, makes the catch, and that retires the side. So ball that's laced in the gap, and Henderson runs it down. We go to the top of the 5th. Now it's starting to move along a little bit. Dan Spillner against Mario Guerrero. It's a 21. and that is going to be a ground ball to shortstop. Dubinsky charges it, throws on the run, and gets Guerrero. Piccolo up. And that's a 52. That's an error. That's actually, first we get a KD check. The 7 is not going to do it. So we're going to roll for the error. It's going to be a potential error. It's a ground ball to the pitcher. Back to the pitcher. Pitcher's error rating is a 0. So he picks it up, throws the first, high throw, stretched by Hargrove. 2 down. So we can't make an error there on that. Made no errors during the season. I can't pick up the card. Sometimes it gets frustrating. I just bend them. All right, these are PDFs. I did a video, a tutorial on cutting the PDFs. If you're into that. Ricky Henderson with 2 outs, nobody on. Pitch from Spillner. That's a 64. And that is a fly ball, center field. On the run is Manning, and he tracks it down to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Let's look at our scoreboard here. It is the 5th inning, and the A's are up by a score of 3-2. Couldn't find my Scotch tape, so I put a rubber band there. Oh, 3-2. All right, trusty scoreboard. It's Cliff Johnson leading it off. Here's McCatty. And is a 24. 24 is a fly ball. Dwayne Murphy, 1 down. Here's Ron Hasse. Hasse is 0 for 2 today. Strikeout and a fielder's choice. That's a 13. And that is he's a lefty, so it's going to be a ground ball to the first baseman. Revering scoops it, steps on the bag ahead of Hasse, who doesn't run well. And Toby Harrow with 2 outs. Harrow's 2 for 2. He's got a single and a double, so he's on his way to a triple and a home run. 62. He's not going to get it here. That is a swing and a miss. Curveball gets him for the 3rd out of the inning. Harris dejectedly returns to the. Actually, he waits by the bag, and they bring him his hat and his glove. Dwayne Murphy leading off the top of the 6th. Dan Spillner's still in there. Both starters are still in there. Spillner can go 28. We're going to check on him. And I know McCatty can go 33. So we're going to check on Spillner real quick and see where he's at. He's got 18. He's got 19. So he still has some ways to go. Here's a pitch, top of the 6th inning. It's 3-2 A's. It's a 41. That's going to be a base on balls. And Murphy, who had over 100 walks that season, 1980. And it's Wayne Gross. Here's a pitch to Gross. That's a 24, and that is a potential hit by pitch. Oh, just missed it. 1 and 2 hit by pitch. It's a 3. So that's going to be some sort of an out. And he's a lefty, so it's going to be a ground ball. Fielder's choice. If it's a fast runner, so the speed of the runner now plays a role. If he's a fast runner, he's the infielder. The second baseman Rosello is going to go to first. He's going to look at second, but he's going to decide to go to first. So that's another factor, something that I don't mention a lot. So guys realize that all these different, there's a lot of different effects from different skills and different ratings going on during this game, and it's something that I don't know if anybody is really mentioning, so people get a better idea of what the game is, what it's bringing. So we already had an arm play a role, an outfielder's arm. Now we had the speed of the base runner play a role, and it's woven nicely into the game where it doesn't slow you down in any way. So Dave Revering now with a runner at second base, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Spillner. That's going to be snake eyes. Let's see what happens. And that is going to be a fly ball to center field. Tagging up is going to be Murphy. And Murphy is not going to make it. He's going to hold up on that. So that's 2 outs. And Mitchell Page is up, another lefty hitter. And that is a 24. Again, a potential hit by pitch, but it won't be. Just going to retire the side here. It is a line out and caught by the second baseman, Dave Rosello. Hit on the screws, but Rosello timed it perfectly, went up, and came back down with it to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the sixth. In the bottom of the sixth, it's going to be Charbonneau, Rosello, and Dubinsky. Still 3-2. Let's make it a sixth inning. Bottom of the sixth. We're playing at Cleveland Stadium. Charbonneau against McCatty. And that is a 63. That's going to be a fly ball right field. So Charbonneau pokes it in the opposite direction, and right there is Armas, one down. Dave Rosello, he's 1 for 2, singled and struck out. It's going to be a 16. Yeah, it's going to be grounded, chopped to short. Guerrero charges it, fires, and gets his man at first, 2 down. Here's Dubinsky. That's a 64. That's a blank. And that's going to take us to a fly ball. That's going to be a fly to left. And that's Henderson under it. Can of corn. That retires the side with the top of the seventh. Yes, sir. Just like that. Tony Armas leading it off against Spillner. That is a 61 off of Armas' card. It's a blank, so that's going to be a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Jeff Newman, 1 out. That's a 45. And that is a fly ball. Right field. Backing up a few steps is Delaunay playing right field today. 2 outs. And here is Mario Guerrero. And it's going to be a 31. That's usually a base hit. It's a blank. We go to Spillner as a B, and it is a ground ball base hit through the infield. And Charbonneau gets it into Dubinsky. Guerrero's on it first with Piccolo coming up. And Piccolo's 0 for 2. He's flied out and grounded out. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. That's going to be a 61, it looks like. That's a blank. Spillner with a strikeout pitch that retires the side. So he strikes out Piccolo. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. Take me out to the ballpark time. 3-2 A's. There is some movement in the bullpen for the A's. Lacey's out there. It's Lacey and I believe Jones. Lacey and Jones in the bullpen for the A's. McCatty is nearing his batter's face limit. He's actually 27. So he's gone 27 here. And he can go 33. But if he starts getting into trouble, we're going to pull him. All right. I have the hook. I feel that's going to be a 13. Delaunay. Oh, it's a 1-6 single, but it's a 10. So McCatty gets real lucky there, and that's going to be a ground ball. Nice play by Piccolo to keep the ball from going to the outfield. Picks it up, throws the first. Saved the hit there. And here's Rick Manning, and that is a swing and a miss, strike 3. And 2 outs, and Mike Hargrove. Hargrove's 1 for 3, grounded out, singled, and flied out. It's a 14. 1 and 2 and it's base on balls, and guess what? We rolled the 2. I don't know if you could see that. And it is a base on balls. 2-out walk. Exactly what you didn't want here. So now the question is, do I let 2 outs a righty? Do I let McCatty pitch to Johnson, or do I pull him? That is the question, and I am going to pull McCatty. I just have a bad feeling if I leave him in there. He's not a guy that didn't have a really good ERA and had a pretty high on base a whip, had a high whip. So I'm going to bring somebody a little bit better. I'm going to bring in Jones to get us out of this inning. I have a tendency to let the pictures go a little bit too long, and I pay for it at the end. So here comes Jeff Jones. All right. He replaces McCatty. And he's going to face Cliff Johnson, big power hitter. Tying run is on at first base in Hargrove. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Here's a pitch. And that is a 23. That is a swing and a miss. And Jones, it's going to be a C. We'll use that, 18. He's going to be a C, but it is a strikeout off Johnson's card to retire the side. All right, then Jones can go 8 batters. He's going to be a C. Let's write that down so we do not forget. All right, here's Ricky Henderson leading off the top of the 8th inning. It's a 3-2 ball game. See if the A's can hang on. Pitch from Spillner. Let's see where it's. Oh, actually, Spillner may be done. This is his 28th batter. So he can go until he gives up a hit, basically, or a walk. That's a 16. And that's going to be lined and caught by the shortstop, Dubinsky. 1 away. So Henderson lines out, but Dubinsky snags it. And here's Murphy. Dwayne Murphy's 0 for 2, and he also walked. It's going to be a 12. 12. Murphy is ball 4. And he's going to get a chance to steal a base, which is nice. So that walk is going to be it for Spillner. And we are going to bring in, it's a lefty batter. So we are going to bring in, let's see who they used often. Usage, we go to usage, games, Sid Manji. We're going to bring in Manji, Sid Manju. Let's bring in Manji. So you get all the players with Fall Classic Baseball, which somebody like me, that's a big, important part of what I enjoy doing. I like the actual replays. Not every guy does that. Some guys are okay with just having the main guys when they do tournament play, when they do league play, draft play, and all that. I think that's why they use Stratomatic, because Stratomatic does that. They just give you the basic players. They don't give you anything extra. So anyway, Manji is going to come in for Spillner. Manji had a 1.2 whip in 67 games, so he's in here now. He had 14 saves. So let's find Manji. There he is. He's in the game now. Facing the lefty Wayne Gross. So Murphy reached on a walk again. Here's a pitch. Oh, and he gets a chance for a stolen base. We're going to try it. That's a 12. We're using that 12. He's trying the stolen base, and he is, where is he? It gives you a plus sign, and that tells you can use the automatic or you can call him yourself. I like to just use the automatic. He is a 13. But we have to look at the catcher. I use that modifier. There's Hassey is going to be an arm rating of an A, so there's no change. It's a 13. We roll a 12. There goes Murphy. The throw down from Hassey, not in time, stolen base. So a runner at second now. We're going to use that 35. The 35 is a blank. Sid Manji, we have to roll for him to see where he's at. That's a 17, so Manji is going to be a C. And we have a 35. It's a blank. We go take the 35 to a C pitcher, and that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop with a runner at second. Dubinsky's going to look Murphy back over to first, 2 away. And here comes Dave Revering, a lefty. And not crazy about. I'd like to pinch hit potentially, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Here's a pitch from Manji to Revering with 2 outs. Top of the 8th, run around second, 3-2 A's. And that is going to be a 53. That's a range check. We look at the KD. The KD won't make it. So we are going to roll for a range. It's going to be a range to who? A range check of 53. It's going to be a range check to the shortstop and the left fielder. And that's a 19. So it's by the shortstop. Let's see if the left fielder can make a sliding, diving, rolling catch. And an 8. He may be able to do that. And he does not. So that's going to drop in. And that's going to allow Murphy to score. Base hit. Murphy scores. And it's a 4-2 lead. Dave Revering has an RBI single. So that's three RBIs. Oh, no, not really. Who hit that? Oh, it was Wayne Gross, I believe, who hit that. Who hit that? Let me see. It was in the first inning. Wayne Gross hits a medium. It was Wayne. Then it was Revering hits a medium drive for a single. Ricky Henderson scores, and Wayne Gross scores. Okay. So yes. So it's Revering with 3 RBIs today. He hit that single in the first inning to score 2 runs. So 2 outs, 4-2 now. A's. Mitchell Page. And here's the pitch to Page. Oh, that's a 33, and that's a 1-12. It's a walk, and it is ball 4. So that pushes Revering to second. Manji's struggling a bit here. He can go 9 batters. He's going to face Tony Armas, a righty. And you know what? We're going to have a little fun here. We're going to bring in a new pitcher. Why not? We're going to bring in Victor Cruz. Didn't the Giants have an outfielder that was named Victor Cruz? I used to do the salsa dance every time he caught a touchdown pass. So Victor Cruz is going to come in here in a 4-2 game. Manji's out. Manji's struggling a little bit. I feel he doesn't have his best stuff. We're going to roll a die to see what we can get. See if we can improve the bullpen session, and we get a B. All right, so a little bit better. Cruz is going to be a B, and he has a good ERA, a good WHIP as well. Had a good season, Victor Cruz for the. So it's going to be Cruz coming in to face the righty on righty now, Armas. Victor Cruz, Tony Armas, first and second, 2 outs, top of the 8th, 4-2 A's. There's a pitch from Cruz. That's a 61. It's a blank. So we look on Cruz under, what do we say he was? He was a B. That's a strikeout, and the side is retired. Strikes out Armas. Big strikeout for Victor Cruz. Comes in, does the job. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is now 4-2 Athletics. Hey there. All right, John is up, and he's got energy. What's going on, y'all? Good to see you, John. Guys, 3 or 4 weeks due to the problems of youth. Yeah, so just also keep in mind that he's been slammed. I mean, every other guy that I talk to says, oh, yeah, I ordered. I mean, Appa Brian is doing Fall Classic Baseball. Demo Dave is doing Fall Classic Baseball. I'm doing Fall Classic Baseball. Anthony's doing Fall Classic Baseball. RJL is doing Fall Classic Baseball. I think he stopped. So and there's like 10 other guys that are doing Fall Classic Baseball all of a sudden. So he got totally slammed. And so I'm just giving you guys a heads up. That has to do with it as well. He probably got so many orders all at once, and he had to make cards and cut cards and order cards and all that stuff. And plus the shipping for Christmas and the COVID issues. There's actually a big disclaimer, a big notice on the USPS website that says we are experiencing, extreme delays. It's unusual, but COVID is, it's given us lots of problems. We're struggling finding mail carriers. It says it right on the website. So just heads up, because I know some guys that are unaware of this are complaining, saying, "Oh, it's taking so long." It says that the tracking says that it's here or there, and I don't understand why it's taking so long. What can I tell you? I keep on repeating why it's taking so long. All right, so here we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 4-2 A's. It's Jeff Jones, a C bullpen against Ron Hassey, the lefty. Hassey's 0 for 3. Here's a pitch. And it's a 4-1. That's usually a walk. 4-1 is a blank. And on Jeff Jones, who is we said Jeff Jones was going to be what? A C. 41 is going to be a base on balls. So that brings a tying run to the plate. And Toby Harrow. Toby Harrow has a little power. Hit 11 home runs. Not a lot of power. Has a little bit of power. Yeah, like I said, I've done many reviews on this game, and I've talked, about it. And it really, I think it really found a nice mix. It's been able to kind of integrate, various things into the game. If you watch this stream earlier in the game, the arm rating for the outfielders took effect, and that had a outfielder had a better arm, it would have the runner would have held up. And on another occasion, it was the runner's speed that really we looked at. And if a fast runner was going to take the extra base, and if he wasn't fast, he wouldn't. On another occasion, it was the infielder's arm. It was a double play ball, but if the shortstop has a weak arm, then it was a fielder's choice. On another occasion, something similar happened where the speed of the speed of the runner allowed him to make it to second base, and the second baseman opted not to go for the fielder's choice, but to throw it to first instead. So all these things are happening, and there's no calculation, there's no looking up anything. It's just very, very simple, straightforward. It kind of flows very easy. So these are things that you don't get with a lot of games. And those are the facts. So what more can I say now? Guys talk about, and I'm not going to go a long rant about this, but guys talk about, okay, there's not a lot of splits. There's not splits on strikeouts, and there's not splits on stuff like that. I hear you. The splits are included in the game, and I think there was a split hit before, by the way. There was a split hit before in this game, so it does play a role. It does not drive the game. The game engine is not driven by splits. It's not this game. This is a game that's driven totally by splits. See that? This game doesn't find this necessary. Most games don't find this necessary because most of this is just outs and outs, and a lot of times the differences are really nothing to mention. So why do you want all that on your cards? You don't really totally need it. But a lot of guys grew up with that, so they feel like a game must have these absolute splits for every die roll. And I don't agree. I disagree with that. So Toby Harrow's up. Let's keep going with the game. Bottom of the 8th, 4-2. It's a 21. Toby Harrow. That's going to be an out. Let's see if we can get lucky and get a ground ball, hard hit ground ball out. It's going to be popped up to we roll the 1, so it's going to be a foul ball. Innings 1-4 at first base. After the 5th inning, it's going to be the third baseman. He's going to have a chance to fielder falls into the stands, making the catch. Runner on third scores if less than 2 out, except if a slow runner who is out unless the fielder has a W arm. So there's a runner on first on this. That doesn't make okay. So basically, if the runner on third there'd be a whole thing. There's nobody on third, so this is going to be a foul pop up to the third baseman. And that's going to be 1 out. So Toby Harrow, Jeff Jones gets Toby Harrow to pop up. All right, so here's Joe Charbonneau. He's got good power. He hit 23 home runs, so Jeff Jones better watch his step with Charbonneau. Here goes. Here's the pitch. And that, oh, I thought it was going to be a 65. 65 would have get us to roll for a home run. Well, actually, we had the roll there. 63 is going to be a blank. We go to Jeff Jones. 63 is going to be a strikeout. So Jones strikes out Charbonneau for out number 2. Remember, the tying run is on at first base. Here's Dave Rosello. Pitch from Jones, and that is a 25. That's going to be he's a righty, so it's going to be a hard hit ground ball to shortstop. Guerrero flips to second to Piccolo, and that retires the side. We go to top of the 9th. Top of the 9th, it's going to be Newman, Guerrero, and Piccolo. Victor Cruz is in there. And let's grab the scoreboard. 9th inning is still 4-2, Athletics. And here goes. Pitch from Cruz. That is a 53. That's going to be a range check. We first looked for KD. That's not going to work. KD on Cruz. We got Cruz to be a B. So it would have been 1-5, but we rolled a 20. We're going to roll again to see if it's going to be a base hit. Who's it hit to? It's hit to center field. Center field, there's a 7 out there, Manning. So anything above a 7 is going to be a drop in for a single. So that's a base hit for Newman. He's on at first. Newman is slow. I'm not a big pinch runner guy, but I'm gonna pinch run here if I can find the A's cards. I don't know if I can find them. What did I do with them? Let me take a quick swig of my coconut drink. I got my cat sleeping over here to my left. I'll show you. Let me see if I can get the camera to look that way. Let's see. There. See the cat sleeping there? Yeah, the cat's not dead. It's sleeping. There we go. And I can't find the cards. I found them. Okay, I found them. All right, calm down. Calm down. Cat got mad because I'm putting my hand where she is. All right, so we're going to get a pinch runner. Who's it going to be? All right, Davis, Edwards is slow. Orlando Gonzalez, I don't think he's available. McKay is slow. Got a bunch of fast catchers, but I don't see them as being pinch runners. I see more like a guy like McKay. I think McKay pinch ran the other day, but he's slow according to the stats. So you know what? We can bring in Mike Davis to pinch run. What position was Newman playing today in this game? Newman is the catcher. So we're going to bring in Essien, who is fast, to run for to run for Newman. I don't know how realistic that is, but it's kind of gamey if I do that. What I will do is bring in Davis to pinch run, and then I'll bring in. So I'm going to bring in Davis to pinch run. He's average speed. It sounds a little bit more realistic than bringing in Essien to. I don't know if Essien was ever used as a pinch runner. So we will bring Essien to catch, and we bring in Lacey to finish off the 9th inning for the save. So Mario Guerrero here in this situation, you know what? We're going to bunt. We're going to bunt here. Mario Guerrero is a 5 bunter, and this has a great system for bunting. Very simple. You roll 1 die, and he lays it down. Now, is it going to be a good bunt or not? We're going to see. Okay, my cat is doing stuff, and it is. It's going to go to the first baseman. So moving to second base is the pinch runner Davis. And here's Rob Peachlow. Now we could pinch hit rather. You know what? I'm going to bring Essien to pinch hit, and then we'll bring in Heath. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to bring in Essien to pinch hit for Peachlow. Although Essien batted only 232, but he does have a little bit more power. So let's see. Let's bring in Essien to pinch hit. And here's a pitch from Cruz with 1 out and a runner on second base. That's a 62. That's going to be a fly ball right field. Shallow right, racing in is Miguel Delaunay, and he gets there for out number 2. We're in the top of the ninth, 4-2 A's. A's are trying to get another insurance run here. So let me kind of see if I can close this here. All right, Captain Carl says to about 3 or 4 weeks. Captain Carl wasn't worried about how long it was taking since I had a bunch of projects. Yeah, I don't even think about that. I have stuff that I just worry that it's lost when it takes like a really long time, or that the guy forgot to send it, or the guy was in a car crash. So I reach out and I say, hey, is everything okay? Is it on the way? He goes, yeah, you know. Same here. I have like 8 projects going. So same here. I generally use the PDFs, but I bought the fast action cards. No rush though. Online, yeah. He sends you the PDFs automatically. So if you know, some guys don't like to print out. They don't have a good printer, or they don't have the card stock. They just don't like it. So I get it. But you know, I'm set up to either do one or the other. These are PDFs, by the way. I learned to cut them decently so they at least match a little bit. But it allows me to write on them and make notes on them if I want. You know, I like that aspect of it. So here's Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson is up here. And Henderson today is 1 for 4. He singled, flied out twice, and then lined out. He is a 300 hitter, but we will face him because he's a righty. And against Cruz, let's see what Cruz has done. He can face 9 batters. He's faced 3, 4, 5. This is his 5th batter. So here goes. Here's the pitch. Victor Cruz to Ricky Henderson. 2 outs, runner on second base. Let's see if Henderson can come up big here and drive in a run to make it a 5-2 ball game for the A's to win this one. That's going to be a 42. 42 is a blank, but we're going to go to Cruz, who is a B, and that is ball 4. So Cruz walks Henderson. Remember that Henderson did have 117 walks, so he does walk a lot on his card. There's a bunch of walks. And here's Dwayne Murphy. Murphy's 0 for 2. He's grounded out, and he's walked twice. He's another player who had 102 walks in 1980. Now I'm doing the same replay. I'm doing it with replay baseball, with the classic, using the classic book and the classic cards that look like they were typed, that they used the typewriter to fill in the ratings. All right, Dwayne Murphy, 2 outs. Here's a pitch from Victor Cruz. That is a 62. We go to Cruz's card, and that's a swing and a miss. Strike 3, strikes out Murphy to end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. We're going to bring in Lacey, a lefty. Bob Lacey's coming in. And every so often, I like to look at my tops set to look at Lacey and see what he looked like. And let's see Bob Lacey. We got to make some defensive changes as well. There he is, Bob Lacey. He's coming in. Where is he? Let's find him. Now we're going to bring in McCatty at second base. I do have work in the morning, but I did sleep for a while. So McCatty is in at second base. We have a new catcher. It's going to be Essien. All All right, so Essien is behind the plate. McKay is at second base. And I believe Mike, so we're going to put McKay in the 7th spot. I'm using iScore to keep track. All right, so McKay is in there somewhere. And Essien is already in there. And it's Bob Lacey. We didn't get his card. We got to get his card, Lacey. You get every player. Well, Lacey's a lefty. Going to remove. All right, so let's roll for Lacey so we don't forget to do that. And it's going to be a 5, and Lacey's going to be an A pitcher, exactly what the A's wanted. Lacey's an A pitcher, sounds good. He will be facing Dubinsky. We will see a pinch hitter for Dubinsky. Going to bring in Orta. George Orta. Get a pinch hit for Dubinsky. It's 4-2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. A's are up. Bob Lacey needs to get 3 outs for a save. See if he can manage it. He faces a tough hitter, 291 hitter in George Orta. Here's a pitch. That is a 43. That's a blank. Lacey, I believe we said, was an A. And a 43 is a blank. And we go to Lacey in the A column. And that is a pop-up to the first base side, and Revering and McKay both over there. Revering calls him off. 1 down. All right, we turn over the lineup, and here's Miguel Delaunay. He's a 341 hitter, so he's tough. Switch hitter, so he's batting from the right side. That's a 62. That's a blank. We look at Lacey, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Lacey blows a fastball by Delaunay, who flails at it. And Rick Manning with 2 outs. So the A's are 1 out away from victory. Here's the pitch, and that is a 56. It's a blank, so it's going to take us to Lacey. That's strike 3, ball game over. A's win it. Lacey picks up a save. McCatty picks up a victory. The loss will go to the starter. That was Spillner. We got to put all that in here. So McCatty gets the victory. The loss is going to go to Spillner. And a save is going to go for Lacey. And we'll give Jeff Jones a hold, even though I don't keep track of holds because I don't know how to do it very well. But Jeff Jones is going to get a hold in this case. And okay, I'll give you this final score. And basically, Dave Revering drove in 3 of the 4 runs. And the Athletics visiting the Indians, 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors, 7 left on base. The Indians with 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, 9 left on base. So a great ball game. That was a blast. I really enjoyed that. If you guys have any questions or any advice or anything like that, it took me about 10 days, 12 days to get used to the game. At first, I was curious and I was kind of questioning certain things and until I really got the flow of it and I really learned it. I went to Delphi and I read a lot of the questions that the guys there had, so I wouldn't have to ask the questions. A lot of guys ask the same questions, so you can kind of read. And I would just go through all the different topics and then I would read up on the answers. And then I would say, oh, yeah, I had that question. Okay, that's the answer. And every so often, I still ask a question about different things. Hey there, Daniel Patane. And Daniel Patane, I believe, is from not Australia, but New Zealand. Is that right? Did I get you? Did I mess that up? I think you're from New Zealand. And Over there is like probably 6 in the afternoon or something like that. I don't know. It's like 18-hour difference. And that's about it. Daniel came in at the end of this, and the A's win it. I'll get the scoreboard. The A's win it by a score of 4-2 against the Cleveland Indians. It was Steve McCatty who got the victory. Let's look for McCatty's Topps card. Let's see. Steve McCatty. There he is. Steve McCatty gets the victory. And Cleveland Indians, Dan Spillner is going to get the loss. Let's find a card for Dan Spillner. I like to have these cards. It gives you a lot of color. It adds a lot of color to the game, especially since I kind of print out my cards in black and white. But I have a Spillner card here somewhere. There it is. Dan Spillner takes the loss. And there's, I know the light is not letting you see it. Let me put it up here. So McCatty on the left gets the victory. Spillner on my right gets the McCatty gets the victory, and Spillner on my right gets the loss. Final score is 4-2 Oakland. And those are the two games I play against Cleveland. Now I'm going to play against the Boston Red Sox. We go to, do we play the Boston Red Sox at home or do we play the Boston Red Sox away? That's a good question. Let's see. And what I'm doing is I'm replaying the same number of games with both the two different game sets. I'm playing it with Fall Classic. I'm playing with the Old Classic replay. And so I want to actually line it up so I can play the same game first with one system, then with the other system. And it's going to be, it's Boston coming into Oakland, Alameda. So we're going back home. The Athletics are going home to Alameda, to the Coliseum. It's going to be the Red Sox who are coming to town. And it's going to be tomorrow's game. Hopefully I can play it tomorrow. It's going to be Chuck Rainey. But I'm finding I only have time because I'm working. And next week's going to be a tough week because I have to travel for work. But on weekends I can get 2 games in. But on weekdays it's hard for me to get 2 games in. It's going to be Mike Norris facing off against Chuck Rainey. That's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to that game. I'm going to set that game up right now, actually. And I'll talk you through the setup pretty much and how I do it, just to share that. Australia, all right, but that's different than New Zealand. I said New Zealand. He said yes, Australia. I don't want to seem like totally, ignorant of basic Pacific area, geography and so forth. Six. Are you saying it's 6:13? I guess that's in the afternoon, probably, right? Is there a forum for Fall Classic? Yeah, there's forum. Yeah, there's Delphi Fall Classic Baseball. You want to definitely check that out. And there's the Facebook Fall Classic Baseball. And there's the Universal Baseball Association. You know the book? There's another Facebook group that does a lot of Fall Classic there as well. So you have 3 places you can talk about Fall Classic. You can even talk about Fall Classic at Tabletop, Delphi Tabletop. So Delphi Tabletop, Delphi Fall Classic Baseball. Then you have Facebook. You have Fall Classic Baseball on Facebook, and you have Universal Baseball Association that does a lot of Fall Classic Baseball as well. Today we had the card up there. We had Chapman's card. It was all K's. The whole card is just K, 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 K. It's hilarious with a couple of walks. It was funny. PM. Yeah, that's what I thought. And I said 6 o'clock. That was a pretty good guess, right, Daniel? I think I said 6 o'clock. I think it's 6 o'clock over in Australia and New Zealand. And he was like, oh, 6:13. How'd you know? because I know it's like 18 hours, something like that, or 18 hours, yeah, more or less, just off the top of my head. So let me set this up. I like to leave my game set up for tomorrow. So I'm pulling the pictures. This was a great game. I really, really enjoyed that game. And I'm putting the Cleveland Indians away here. I won't use them for a while. So just put them to the side. See, all the cards are pretty much the same size. I was able to do that. These are PDFs. I cut them out myself. Daniel, do you play Fall Classic baseball? So I gotta find Norris. Norris is the ace of the staff. So I love playing games with Norris. So he's one of my favorite pitchers. So Mike Norris is going to be there. He's going to be facing. So let's get the Mike Norris Topps card. Let's look at that. Here he is. That's an action shot. And I'm going to have to pull that the Topps Boston team. Let's see where I can find Boston here. I have Boston somewhere. I printed them out. Yankees, Baltimore Orioles. No, that's it. I got to tidy up before I can find Boston. I'm not going to find them until I tidy up a little bit. All right, so let's. I'm shuffling these cards just a little bit here. I watch a lot. I think I've spoken to you about this. I've got 1992. Oh, cool. That's the year I met my wife. When I met her, she played Apple with me. I remember I was like, I got out my Apple game. I said, I'm going to teach you how to play this game. It's a fun game. So we traveled to Europe. We went up to, I have a ranch house in Europe. My family does. And we went up there and, it's very quiet because it's up in the mountains. And there was nothing, there's not a sound. And we just got in the room and just rolled some dice. That was fun. Good memories. 1992, that's the season I play. I remember all the players from 1992 because I played that when I met my wife. All right, so we got that going there. Let's see, where is Boston? Oh, I may have to print. Do I have to print out? I got Baltimore. I got Baltimore. I got the Rangers. I got the Royals. Got the Athletics. I don't think I have the. And this is bad. This is trouble. I have the Cleveland Indians. That's another team I have. Oh boy, I don't know if I have Cleveland. Not only don't I have Cleveland, I don't have the ink in my printer because they screwed up on me. This company screwed up. Wait a second. Wait. I have some other teams over here. I may get lucky. No, this is payoff pitch. Oh boy, I don't know that I have the Red Sox, and I had to play them. And I ran out of ink. I have something called Insta Ink, and they screwed up. They sent me the wrong ink. And I called them. I said, hey, you sent me the wrong ink. They said, oh, we'll get it out immediately, but it's going to take 7 days to get to you. I go, 7 days? I'm at the end of my ink. So my life is, I'm having issues right now with that. Oh boy, I don't think I have the Boston Red Sox. No, sirree. So I'm gonna have to put this replay on hold until I get the ink delivered. Well, I could play the games after the Boston Red Sox, and then just come and play the Boston Red Sox when I get the ink and print them out. Could do that, or I could actually play them right off the screen, but I don't like doing that. Oh boy. Wow. What am I going to do now? The end of the world. The end of the world as we know it. Let me look around. Oh, well, anyway, I'll worry about this on my own. She must be the keeper. Yeah, well, she doesn't play with me anymore. Because, people change. So, guys, this is the end of the stream. I'm going to go back into my world. It is, what time is it? It is 2:24. I will look around a little bit more for Boston and see if I can plan out what I can do to print it out. I may be able to print it out at work, but I have to kind of replace the paper with cardstock, and I hate doing that because I just don't like it. It's just a big process. So it doesn't seem that I have the it doesn't seem. Oh, you know what? I could go to Office Depot and print them out. That's what I could. That's what I did last time. I printed out a bunch of teams at Office Depot. Or I could buy my own ink, but I don't want to do that since I'm already paying for instant ink. So anyway, this is Tony Porter. You've been tuning in to Cards and Dice TV. You watched the Fall Classic baseball game, the Oakland Athletics versus the Cleveland Indians. Now, Oakland. Actually, I just noticed that we were in Cleveland, and I had this wrong. I had these teams in the wrong spot. That's funny. Just noticed that. So Oakland was here, and they had 4, and then it was 2. This thing cost me, I think, $10. So then I did this thing here. I did that, and then I did the rubber band. I did a double rubber band here. Because I couldn't find I left my my Scotch tape in my car. There we go. Push that to the side. Bring it up a little bit. Push it to the side. And there it is. That's the way it should have looked. And that's about it. This is CP Cards and Dice. Thanks, guys, for stopping by. John, Carl, been keeping me company, talking to me the whole time. John and Daniel came by towards the end, and I have a couple other guys stop by. Alan Shaw, how are you, brother? Good morning. Good timing. Who won? The Oakland A's won by a score of 4-2. An outstanding game. It was a close game, exciting game. But the A's got the best of it. Their pitching held out, and it was McCatty, Jones, and Lacey. So I need to use more pitchers with the lesser starters. I feel that I dropped the ball when I did my first replay. I felt that I let the lesser starters go too long, and it hurt. It hurt. They gave up runs towards the end after the 7th inning, and I ended up losing those games, and their ERAs went up, got inflated because I never really brought in any relief pitchers. So I feel that this time around I'm going to be a little bit more comfortable with the team, and I know what they have, and I know how I have to play this. So guys like Kingman and McCatty need to be relieved a little bit earlier, whereas with Langford and with Norris, I can let them go a little bit deeper into the games. And that's about it. And I will see you guys very soon. Take care, be safe, keep rolling, share your games, and I will see you soon with another late show stream. Take care, guys.